What's up? You're listening to The Objective Jerk, and I am that jerk. Yes, I am a jerk. I'm proud of it. Anyway, what's up? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's well. Been trying to stay busy and stuff like that. Stay off social media for sure, because it's just like nothing but, ice, and, good news or bad news, it just kind of gets old, Why does my camera do that? It always turns like a gray. I don't know. It's weird. So I've just been I've been kind of keeping tabs, but it's like, I'm just, I don't want to, this ain't another video about all that kind of stuff. I kind of wanted to do, there's an actual, which is, so I just talk about whatever I feel like talking about, right? This isn't a faith channel or a political channel or an entertainment channel, but I talk about all that stuff kind of. It's just a whatever. Just smorgasbord channel. So, I try and do a little bit of everything, but so it's kind of weird because I've talked about before. So I have like the podcast platform. I have YouTube that I post videos, and Rumble and BitChute, and they all do different. Like, my political ones do better on like Rumble maybe, and so mainly the video. So because it's hard to tell because the God, can I talk? The podcast. So it goes through like Spotify and Apple and different stuff, but it does kind of seem like the true crime is if I had to pick one of the categories, it seems like that one's usually the one that does the best on more stuff. Now, I'm not going to just like start doing true crime stuff. I'm still going to talk about whatever I want, but I do have that. And I think that's going to be my next one, because I have a couple different ones. Like I try and keep track of some stuff that, especially it's stuff that I've never heard of, like, some sort of crazy murder, crime, or some sort of incident. Like, I'm like, what? I've never heard of that. And then, I'll check a little bit on it, but I try and save me learning about it for the podcast. So instead of me trying to educate you, we learn together. All right. But anyway, so I'll just real quick. ICE is doing their job. It's awesome. All these people are retarded. It's not just protesters. There's a conspiracy, people to, because they get paid. That's proven. So somebody's funding them and giving them all this stuff to track them and do all this stuff. They do all this training and all this BS. It's ridiculous. Go on the road, yell all you want, use your megaphone, use your sirens, this kind of stuff, and try and make it annoying. But you can't interfere, and that's what they're doing. They're interfering, and now they're starting to go to jail. I'm going to the doctor. Like the last video I saw, she had so much room to keep going, but she didn't. And then when they pulled her out of the car, and then all of a sudden she's like, I'm disabled. And it's like, well, no shit, you're a liberal. Of course you're disabled. But anyway. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Because my camera goes to like this weird grayish. I guess you probably don't notice it with the filter I put on when I do my video, but like it's kind of like a bluish. It goes between bluish to normal. I don't know what the hell's going on. This camera's going out. I need to get an actual camera maybe. Anyway, okay, enough of that. I am gonna do a series. Nothing like, again, there are YouTube channels that do this way better. But, I don't know, I'm just going to do a little discussion on the original Star Trek films, right? So, I bought the Blu-ray, like 10 movies, which has all the original, and then it has the ones with the Next Generation on there as well. And it was pretty cheap, man. I was kind of surprised, so So yeah, so I got that. And I've, you know, out of all these movies, I've only watched two of them like a handful of times. Like I've seen, I don't even see, I'm not even sure that's the one. I think The Voyage Home. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. I saw a lot. I liked that one when I was younger. And like I think my parents had it on VHS or something. So I seen that one a lot. The one with the whales. And then the other one was, it's either Undiscovered Country or Final Frontier. I'm not sure. Because this doesn't really give you, on the back, it doesn't give you like a little synopsis or anything. So those are the only ones that like I've seen pretty much all of these at least once. I mean, I can say that now for sure because I'd never seen the first one, the motion picture one. But I've never seen Nemesis, so that's the last one. But I've seen everything else at least once as a kid or something. But like I really don't remember. So it's kind of, and I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm just not a Trekkie, obviously. I watched Next Generation when it was on TV and stuff. I didn't have to watch it. I didn't set my calendar and everything, but I would watch it if oh, hey, Next Generation's on, I'll watch it, and I liked it, I used to be more Star Wars, but I'm finding myself kind of going towards the dark side and getting more into Star Trek. Star Trek. Did I just say track? Star Trek. Because I never watched the original show. Gosh, man, I'm like, I watched, like I said, the movies I just described. I watched Next Generation, and I watched a little bit of Deep Space Nine when it was on TV, but that was kind of it. And then I liked. And like I said, I watched the other one with the Next Generation, the movies except for Nemesis. And then I like the J.J. Abrams films. I don't, I understand why like Trek fans don't like them. I like the first one. There's lots of things about it I like. There's some things I don't like. I think that the beginning of the film with Thor being his dad, that whole first part, where it shows the ship getting taken out, but I think that's pretty awesome. And the second one, which is basically like Wrath of Khan but remade. Yeah, I remember watching it and being like, "What? That's Khan?" Yeah. Like there are things I liked, but I was like, I don't know. Even as like a non-Trekkie, I kind of was like. And then they switched the deaths, which like I said, I'm not a Trekkie, but I still know some of the history. And I was like, why'd they switch it, man? So I was kind of like, and then the Beyond one, I think that's what it's called, the third one that J.J. Abrams did. I like that one, actually. Some people don't, but I like that one. I don't, no, I think I have the first Star Trek on DVD or something. I do like those, but I can understand why people don't like them, The fact that they made what's-his-face gay was kind of annoying. So, I mean, there are things that's like, oh my gosh, come on. But anyway, so, my dad, he liked Star Trek. And so up to that point, that's about as much of my Trek experience I had, right? So I was like, But I talked about Deep Space Nine. I watched the whole series on Netflix a couple months ago. And I love that show, man. That show was awesome. I think, oh man, what's his name? The captain, or he was a commander, then Captain Cisco. He was badass. He was my favorite. Great show. I loved all the characters I talk about in another episode, so I'm not going to go too much into it. I tried watching Voyager, and I don't know. I couldn't get into it. And then it was leaving soon, so I was like, yeah. And then I even tried watching Enterprise, which was kind of cool, I was starting to kind of get into it, but I think I had burnt myself out a little bit. And then they were all leaving, so it was like. And then just recently, I tried watching the original series, which is really cool. They like it's cool to watch because it's kind of nostalgic, I guess. Um, it's kind of see all the original everything, the first Vulcan nerve pinch, the first, all that stuff. It's kind of cool, but it's I don't know. It doesn't feel real. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm watching actors. I'm not watching characters. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's just because I think it is because I'm watching it for the first time now instead of like as a kid or growing up on TV or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of compared to everything else, it's just very, it was in the 60s, man. So like it's kind of cool. It's fun to watch, but like I can't get invested in it. Partly I think because they just focus on Kirk so much, and I guess later on they kind of get more, because that's what I like about the other shows like Deep Space Nine and the Next Generation is you'll have episodes that focus on other characters and stuff. This one was like Kirk was front and center every time. So I was like kind of struck. Like I watched the first half of the first season, like crack, and then I just kind of again was kind of burnt out, I guess. And then that left Netflix, so it's like okay, I'm sure I'll buy it someday just to have it. But anyway, so okay, so that's my Star Trek adventure so far, right? And so now so I bought this, and my oldest son, he's into sci-fi and stuff like that. So we watched the first film, and honestly, I did not like it much until the very end, and then it was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Like the ending saved the whole film for me. It's so originally I guess it was written for a show. They were going to bring the show back, but then Star Wars did so well, so they're like, okay, let's make it a movie. And that's what it kind of seems like. It seems like it was a one episode that they stretched into a movie because man, they're just such long, drawn out freaking shots. Some of them are cool, some of them aren't, but it was a little too much. Like with Kirk and Scotty going to the Enterprise and that little weird shuttle thing. Dude, took forever. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like the pacing is just crazy. I don't like the uniforms. It's not horrible. So I mean, I had low expectations from stuff that I've read and heard about it, they hired the people they hired to do the special effects fell through, and they had to, and a lot of the shooting was they had no idea what it was going to look like, and when they got the special effects they had to kind of work around it and stuff like that. But the special effects for the most part looked pretty good, and there's a couple things where you're like, yeah, this is old, obviously, but plus I got the Blu-ray, so it's probably been enhanced a little bit, so it's probably a little better than the original. But it was fine. I liked a lot of it. But yeah, it was just slow, man. It was just like, okay, let's go, come on. I mean, the movie was like half over by the time Spock got in there, I think. I mean, he was at the beginning, but as far as joining the Enterprise, but the ending was like, oh, okay, you know what? I could watch this again, I think. Like, I'm watching it. Me and my son are falling asleep. Like, when they first get into inside the, what's the thing? I forget what they call it now. But it's like a huge, like, ship inside a, cloud, whatever, particle cloud thing. And, it's just going and going. And it's cool. But it's just like, oh my gosh, man, come on. And it was just like we were falling asleep. So we had to take a nap. And then we finished it. And I was just like really like, okay, I want to finish this so we can watch Wrath of Khan. And but then the ending, like where the whole, I don't know, like it's an old movie. I can spoil it, right? But just if you haven't seen it and you want to, don't listen any further. But dude, it came out in '79. But because I didn't know, and I think that's kind of cool that the things I've watched some things about the movie, like some content, and I didn't either. I wasn't paying attention or they didn't talk about it, so I don't want to. But yeah, who the I guess quote unquote bad guy was, or what was going on it was an interesting idea, and I thought it was pretty cool. It wasn't. I mean, I think at the time when it came out, it was probably like, whoa, dude. But movies since then have been inspired by it, and so it wasn't like shocking because movies have ripped off other movies, and from 1979 to now, I'm sure I've seen but it did kind of, I was like, oh, okay, like as soon as I saw the probe or whatever, and I was just like, oh man, okay, I get it now, and that's kind of cool. It's crazy. But yeah, so that actually for me saved the movie. So I mean, I'm not gonna watch it every year, but I would, a couple years from now, and maybe one of my other kids is like interested and wants to, I'll watch it again with them. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's the pacing hurts it for sure. But I liked it. I liked it in the end. I thought it was pretty cool. Like I said, I'm not in a big rush to watch it again. So I'm excited to watch The Wrath of Khan, which I have not seen since I was like a kid. I remember the worms in the ear, and it creeped me out as a kid. and yeah, I don't think I've seen it since then. And that's the best Star Trek movie of all time, and or even sci-fi, I guess. And but yeah, so that will be interesting. Or I'm excited to watch it. I'm trying to, like yesterday, my son's like, hey, he came back home from college, or not come back home, but he lives with us, goes to college, and I was like, you got anything you got to do? You want to watch the next Star Trek? And he had some stuff to do, so. But pretty soon, right? But yeah, and then, man, you know what? I don't think I've seen The Search for Spock. I don't think I have. The Voyage Home. Oh, no, that's the one. Okay, yeah. The Voyage Home is the one with the whales, I'm pretty sure. I've seen that one multiple times. Thought it was hilarious. I love when they come do time travel and stuff. And then I saw the one with, I don't remember which one it was, but with like Spock's half brother or something. I used to watch that one a few times. I think that's The Final Frontier. So I don't think I've seen Undiscovered Country. And then Star Trek Generations I saw in theaters when it came out. And that was it, just that one time. Same thing with First Contact. Same thing with Insurrection. So I saw all of those in theaters, but I never seen Nemesis, which I hear is not good. But we'll find out, I guess. So I got these. Then, yeah, I think I might start buying the series on physical copy. Probably just buy the original series and have it, just to have it, really. I don't know. Maybe start watching the second season, because it was just kind of, I don't know. Like I said, I felt like I was watching actors on like I just kept thinking about how they did this back then, and it just, I felt like I was watching a documentary on how they made this show or something. I don't know. It just didn't. I just saw William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and stuff because just grew up knowing who they were and that they played. So it wasn't like I was watching Spock. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe, you know what I'm saying? It was hard to get invested in it, that's all. And I'm hoping other seasons will bring the other characters. Like, I think, yeah, like Chekhov he hasn't even been on the show yet, as far as I got on the original series. Like, he wasn't even in it yet, so. So yeah, I mean but it was kind of cool to see and watch some stuff, and then it plus answered a lot of because like on Deep Space Nine where they did their little time travel thing back to the original era, and with the little fuzzy things I can't think of what they're called right now, but which was really cool the way they did that, but it kind of answered some stuff because I had never really watched the original series, so my first episode of the original series was pretty much that Deep Space Nine episode. So I don't know, it was kind of pretty cool, but yeah, like I don't know, I watched the crap out of the original Star Wars when I was a kid, so I don't really have an urge to watch them. I don't know, is that weird? The prequels, there are things I liked about them, but again, I'm like, I don't know. And then the sequel ones, like I seen them all in theaters with my son, but I have no desire to watch them again or buy them. You know what I mean? And I don't know. So it's Star Trek seems to be, although man, there's some shit shows going on right now though with Star Trek, right? I haven't watched any. Like I said, I listed what I've seen and then everything that's come out recently, which is a lot of crap, dude. I don't mean crap that it's crap, although it is, but I mean just in the last 15 years or something, they've been, people like my generation or the generation before me or whatever, been waiting for Star Trek. Come on, man, what they do? And now they're putting it out like crazy, but it's all garbage though. It sucks. Like that new Star Trek Academy or something, I think. Fleet Academy, something. Dude, it looks horrible. It looks bad. It's like, I don't know. It's just so many things that go. It's just like, come on, man. It's obvious they're just checking boxes instead of, you got like all these fat people that are supposed to be in the academy, which is like a military, but I would think in the future they got all this stuff that they can they got diets, the best diets for you, and all this stuff just freaking down. You know what I mean? Like I would imagine in the future, in this world, Star Trek world, that obesity doesn't exist. Unless you're like some kind of weird alien thing like Jabba the Hutt. I know I'm mixing things, but I'm just using it as an example. Maybe even like some Klingons. No, they are all pretty. But it's like, yeah, the show's got like a gay Klingon dude. It's like, what? And you got all these like fat people, and it's like, what are you doing? It's like, come on, man. I don't know. It's stupid. But that's why it's failing. This show. I don't know. I watch content creators that watch it and then they dunk on it, and that's pretty funny and entertaining. So I'd rather do that than watch this. I don't know. I could not be a critic. Like even people who like on YouTube who aren't like professional critics, but they got a following and they review films and shows. I couldn't do that because I wouldn't want to watch anything, man. Even though it's for the job, it's like I couldn't do it, And I used to think that would be an awesome job, man. Go watch movies. Yeah, sometimes you get one that sucks, but for the most part, you know what I mean. But now it's like flipped. It used to be you go out of the film, and 9 times out of 10, it's decent enough to be entertaining. Maybe you wouldn't see it again. Maybe you wouldn't own it, but you had a good time. And then like 1 out of those 10 would just be like, ugh, man, that sucked sitting through that, right? Now it's like the opposite. Now it's like everything is trash out of 10 films, and then you might get one that's good. It's like, what happened? I know what happened. Talked about it before, but anyway. So that's it. So I briefly talked about Star Trek, the motion picture. I'm not going to show a bunch of clips or this and that because, like I said, there are way better individuals and content creators that have more in-depth, stuff. So go watch them. But I'm just giving my opinion, and then after I watch the Wrath of Khan, I'll same thing. So I'm gonna go through and do it all for all the movies. Just a quick little. So it's not gonna be like I'm not gonna have like my next 10 episodes. This I don't even know when I'll do the next one. Probably within like a few days though, because I don't want to wait too long after I watch it, and I think I might watch it here before long. But anyway, that's it. Let me know what you think. Are you a Star Trek fan? Which one's better, Star Trek, Star Wars? Now, I don't know, but back then, do you like the first one, the motion picture? Anyway, let me know. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time. God bless. All right, bye.